New Sentinel images, 23.1, show significant shelling in the southern part of Avdiivka and in Bakhmut. Russians managed to breach the defenses and infiltrate southern Avdiivka, but according to Ukrainians, the attack was repelled and the situation is now under control. The Ukrainian position, known as Zenit, has also been under heavy fire. Russians have made attempts to capture it, but Ukraine still seems to control it. If the Russians could establish a permanent foothold in the southern areas of Avdiivka, holding Zenit could become more difficult. Zenit is a Ukrainian army position on the front line with a direct view of the Donetsk airport, which is about 2 kilometers away. It is not the name of a town but the military name of this strong defense position. Zenit used to be the point of the anti-aircraft defense system of the Donetsk airport. The soldiers stationed at Zenit have the task of holding the position and do not retreat. The landscape around Zenit resembles the set of an apocalypse movie, with damaged buildings, fields littered with rusty damaged armored vehicles and car skeletons, and ground filled with craters from Grad missiles and mortar rounds. Zenit is located close to Avdiivka, one of the most fortified settlements in Ukraine. The Battle of Avdiivka is an ongoing military engagement between the Russian armed forces and Russian-controlled Donbas militias on one side and the Ukrainian armed forces on the other. It is being fought over the city of Avdiivka, located in the Donbas region. The Battle of Bakhmut continues also. The most intense fighting is taking place west of Bakhmut, between the Ukrainian-controlled villages Ivanivsk and Klitschivka. Ukrainian defenses on the railroad east of Klitschivka have also been heavily shelled. The situation on the southern and western sides of Bakhmut has been fairly static. The new satellite images and recent geolocate footage shows that even though the front line doesn't move, fighting is constantly ongoing, and the Russians have some ambitions in this area too. The Battle of Bakhmut was a major battle in and around the city of Bakhmut between the Russian armed forces and Ukrainian defenders for the capture of the city during the larger eastern Ukraine campaign. It is one of the longest and bloodiest battles of the war so far. The shelling of Bakhmut began in May 2022, and the main assault towards the city started on August 1 after Russian forces advanced from the direction of Popasna following a Ukrainian withdrawal from that front. The main assault force consisted primarily of mercenaries from the Russian paramilitary organization Wagner Group, supported by regular Russian troops and reportedly Donetsk People's Republic militia elements. In late 2022, following Ukraine's Kharkiv and Kherson counter-offensives, the Bakhmut-Soledar front became an important focus of the war, being one of the few front lines where Russia remained on the offensive. Attacks on the city intensified in November 2022, as assaulting Russian forces were reinforced by units redeployed from the Kherson front, together with newly mobilized recruits. By this time, much of the front line had descended into positional trench warfare, with both sides suffering high casualties without any significant advances. By using repeated assaults composed of former convicts, Wagner troops were able to gradually gain ground, and by February 2023, they captured territory in the north and south of Bakhmut and threatened encirclement, forcing Ukrainian forces to slowly pull out into the city, and the battle turned into fierce urban warfare. By March 2023, Russian forces captured the eastern half of the city, up to the Bakhmutka River, and continued to advance into Ukrainian-controlled parts of Bakhmut. The battle for Bakhmut has been the longest and bloodiest of this war so far. Western officials estimate between 20,000 and 30,000 Russian troops have been killed or wounded here, while Ukraine's military has also paid a heavy price.